What's good, y'all? I've got some really nice buffs for Lapras. Before I get into anything on screen right now, I do want to have a quick disclaimer for any new viewers. I don't want to alienate people. Make sure you look at that link in the description. There is a Google Sheet. It's the same one I'm sharing on screen right now, and you can check out all of the really important move buffs and changes in this hack. There are 600 plus move buffs and changes. They are like immense, all right? They are all really important to understand just all the new cool things that these Pokemon can all do now. They are organized, as you can see on screen, into all these different categories for your viewing convenience. It took me a lot of time and effort to organize it and balance all these moves around one another and stuff. So yeah, please do give that a look if you haven't already or if you are new here. With that being said, though, Lapras has some really nice reworks and buffs and changes in the form of a lot of different things. So stat-wise, it is now a semi-pseudo-legendary. If this would load, please, and I could get it on screen. It is a 575 base stat total Pokemon. I call those semi-pseudos. Every single Pokemon in this hack has a lot of careful consideration to make it great, regardless if it's 480 base stat total or 600. It doesn't matter. They're all great. But, you know, for certain Pokemon, it does fit for them to have a higher stat total. Although, again, stat total is not even close to everything. It's honestly kind of arbitrary in this hack. Every Pokemon's great regardless of their base stat total. But, yeah, the other single stage semi-pseudos are Tropius, Druddigon, Drampa, Turtonator, Lapras, and Dhelmise. So those are all dragon types except for Dhelmise, who just fits the vibe of being like this giant fucking, you know, anchor. And then there are actually 2-stage semi-pseudos and, of course, 3-stage guys that I'm not going to waste time listing, but there are 20 total of those. All right, so there are 26 as of right now, semi-pseudo legendaries. And Lapras, you know, fits right in there as like this big, you know, draconic type Pokemon. Speaking of, that is why it is now a part dragon type. Water Ice has a lot of other Pokemon as well. Technically, Stamina and Shalomar don't overlap with any Water Ice, so it's not for a specific overlap reason. It's more just for also for a logical reason, right? Like Lapras has never been anything revolving an ice type. It's more of a Gen 1, okay, we need more ice types for the decks. Let's just make random fucking water types ice type for no reason type deal. Only in the most recent generations did the Pokedex start saying that they swim across like cold seas, I believe. Like frigid seas or something. Yeah, like this cold resistant Pokemon with icy seas, which doesn't even mean that it has to be an ice type either way. So it still learns ice moves. Obviously, I still do a lot of really good ice moves. Not that they're that great anymore, although, you know, the TM ones are good. But like in general, a lot of these ice moves are kind of niche because ice coverage is still useful, but it's not like the best thing in the world. Especially when your dragon options are so strong. But I'll get into all those in a little bit. But as for the abilities and also stats, I did keep the 130 base HP. I do base HP more on size in this hack. I believe in the initial rendition of Lapras, I had stamina and thick fat instead, which is a lot worse than Shalomar, which I'll get into why Shalomar is great and is actually like a perfect combo for stamina, by the way. I'll get into that. But yeah, HP wise, I had like 110 HP or something and a little bit lower special attack or something like that with 550 stat total. Now it gets to have its HP back. It's not like that massive of a Pokemon, but it's, you know, it's 500 pounds. It's like this transport Pokemon. And also, like, if it already had that HP stat, I may as well keep it, you know? It's one of those cases where, like, dropping it is a bit unnecessary, especially when it is still a big Pokemon. You know, I think big HP fits Lapras' vibe. So, yes, it is very bulky. 130, 100, 115 with that stamina is very good. But in this ROM hack, there are dozens and dozens of moves that will always crit, meaning they will bypass right through your stamina boosts and, you know, render them useless, which is where Shell Armor comes into play. Shell Armor has gone from like a decent ability, obviously, like, you know, casual Nuzlockers will be like, oh, I love Shell Armor. Obviously, it's nice to not have to worry about critical hits, but at the end of the day, like, it's still a very situational ability, especially when I have the freedom to give every single Pokemon 2 good abilities to switch between with an infinite use ability capsule. If there weren't crit moves, Shell Armor would be very mid. But because of all the new crit moves, Shell Armor is incredible. It completely blocks, you know, the damage output from all of these moves. There is a huge list right here. Most importantly, the most common ones are stuff like First Impression, Stone Edge, Wicked Blow, you know, Surging Strikes, all these moves that always crit. Again, as you can see on screen, there's a giant list of them right here. As you can, like, just, you know, feel free to pause it, or honestly, just check out the Google Sheet. It's much easier than trying to get glimpses of the moves here and there and, you know, in the videos. I would really just recommend you check out the sheet. But yeah, all these moves, all right, on screen are completely not blocked. It's not like you're immune to them, like bulletproof, but you take much less damage. You take significantly less damage, especially from a ruthless Pokemon, which is it functions like Sniper, which a lot of new Pokemon have. It's great. I mean, it's such a beautiful ability for utility. And what you can do is basically you're using stamina in most fights, right? Because you do have access to reliable recovery in the form of Rehydrate, I believe. Did I get Rehydrate or Slack Off? Let me check. Can this load, please? Okay, I did give Rehydrate. Yeah, Rehydrate and Wish technically as well could be useful for Wish passing to teammates with your good HP. But either one is useful. Rehydrate is just water type recovery, by the way. So again, I just encourage you to check out the move buffs and changes. I don't have time to cover all of them. But that's beautiful with Stamina. And with Shell Armor, you're using Shell Armor when there's a crit move. And when there's a crit move that you need to switch in on or fight against, Stamina is useless. So it's like beautiful synergy between the abilities. You switch to Shell Armor with that Infinite Usability Capsule. That lets you switch in on First Impressions much easier. It lets you switch in on all those dozens of other crit moves much easier. And then otherwise, if you don't have to worry about a crit move for that boss fight, you use Stamina, you know? And with Stamina, of course, you become incredibly bulky. You can run max HP, max Spread Death with Stamina if you want, or, you know, max special attack, max HP. They are still a mixed attacker. They also get Shell Smash late game. I wouldn't hyperfixate on it. It's a cool option, but it's just a late game thing. It's mostly only for like Mina's Trial, Hapu, Gladion, the League, post game. You know, it's like you'll still get leverage out of it, but it's not like. Actually, level 60 is a little bit earlier. You'll have that for a little bit longer, but it's still a late game move. You won't have it until like a little while into Pony Island. So yeah, I would definitely, you know, Shell Smash is cool and it fits obviously, but it's just not like the craziest thing in the world. Water Dragon typing fits. Lapras already always learned a bunch of Dragon type moves. It's a better defensive typing. Actually, no, it's not a better, because Ice type actually has resistances in his hack, so I would say that Water Dragon and Water Ice are actually both really good defensively now because of the new Ice type resistances, which you can check out on the Google Sheet. It's not relevant in this case because they're no longer Ice type, but yeah, I just don't think Ice type ever made sense for Lapras. It's more of just like a, oh, they retconned it, like fucking 20 years later, they finally said that it lives in cold water, and even that's like, okay. I don't know. And most importantly, there are about 4 or 5 other water ice types, while there is only 2 other water dragon types, one of which is a mega. So yeah, water dragon is a lot more unique, and it keeps it, you know, just feeling more unique from other Pokemon. Overall though, why do I have Taunt on there? I've been combing through all of the older videos and I've been deleting all moves that like I don't see anymore, or adding new ones and reworking their level up moves and stats and stuff. And yet I still miss stuff like that. I don't see Taunt at all on Lapras. It's way too nice. Like, it's too kind to use Taunt, I feel like. I do give Taunt to like everything, but even I had to make some exceptions, you know? Alright, now I gotta delete something else. I'll just unlist Outrage. Still gets it. For anybody who's wondering, all these post-game options that I delete, like, it's not like they don't learn those anymore. Any TM and Twitter move that Pokemon learned post-game, it still gets it. They're just post-game niche options that aren't really that important or worth listing on the sheet. But yeah, overall, they got great coverage. That physical attack stat is still usable. It's only 10 points lower than your special attack stat. And with access to infinite EV training items, or instant EV training items rather, you can easily switch between special and physical sets, purely defensive sets with Charm and Tickle and stuff, or like, you know, bulkier offensive sets. They're all great. Amnesia plus Stamina is also really nice. Calm Mind plus Stamina is great. With that reliable recovery, I would never delete Rehydrate or Wish. I would always keep one of those 2 moves for sure. Although Assault Vest with Stamina can also be useful for a lot of boss fights. You do have Priority from a Bubble Shot, Aqua Jet, and Draco Jet. You know, Priority Haze, which is really good for the AI to abuse against you when you try to set up. Overall though, Lapras is pretty goated. Just a really solid tanky Pokemon, fitting type change, great move pool, tons of move changes. Again, I really recommend you just check those out because I do not want to dwell on them for too long. Yeah, I think I'll just try to leave the video off here. But that's about it for Lapras. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And I'll be back for more coming up. Peace.